Welcome to Revenza Tales, where stories of betrayal and fierce comebacks ignite your fire. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and share with friends who fight for their truth. What happens when your mother's love is a ledger, and her betrayal burns deeper than scalding coffee? I'm Andy Carter, 29, a finance consultant in Portland, Maine, mapping my life with ledger-like precision. Until my mother, Susan, threw scalding coffee in my face at my sister Lily's engagement party for refusing $40,000. The burns stung, but betrayal's raw ache cut deeper. My name's not on billboards, but with Derek, my fiancé, a tech innovator, I've built a life of hard work and quiet purpose. That day tilted my world, reshaping family, love, and myself. Growing up in Blue Harbor, a fishing village along Maine's rocky coast, was not a postcard ideal. Our weathered Cape Cod house, paint peeling off in gray strips, was located close to pungent docks lined with salt and diesel smells. My dad, Henry, a lobster fisherman, dragged traps, vowing to repair the sagging porch but never following through. His soft speech and softer will always yielded to Susan, who held court like a queen to a court she considered beneath her. Susan, who once was a beauty pageant queen, wore a winning smile but couldn't shake off the poverty of her mill worker childhood. Her status hunger clung like wet mist, creating a flawless image: ironed clothes, sparkling smiles, envy of neighbors. Underneath, she was a tempest, dictating each and every detail. I took after her aggressive jawline, a cuter mind, always computing, plotting. Lily, 3 years my junior, inherited Dad's hazel eyes and charisma that could get people to forgive everything. Lily was Susan's son from the time she was born. I was the shadow, supposed to shine on demand. Why can't you be like Lily? Susan sighed when my debate medals and straight A's were a personal rejection. Lily's C's and social schedule full of parties won Susan's chauffeur drives to cheerleading practice. Late-night studying earned me lectures on being too solemn. Love in our home had strings, always out of reach to me. By high school, I quit pursuing Susan's approval, scheming escape. College was my lifeline, but my Bowdoin partial scholarship ignited Susan's scorn. We've been saving for Lily's future. Her love's ledger indicated Lily's column full, mine empty. I paid for Bowdoin on scholarships, loans, diner shifts, waiting tables for fishermen who tipped in quarters, stories. My grandmother, Margaret, retired schoolteacher with steel spine, was my anchor. She worked when women stayed home, noticed my flame. Don't let them extinguish you, Andy. Her Sunday phone calls crackled with power. When she died my senior year, her passing shattered me, but her letter with a $75,000 bequest healed enough. For your future, your dreams are worth it. I stashed the cash, a lifeboat in the family storms. That inheritance laid my groundwork, not showy cars but smart plays. After Bowdoin, I worked at Coastal Capital in Portland, managing wealth for Maine's elite. While Lily flunked out of community college to find herself, I brokered a good first salary, charted a 5-year course, mentored young women in finance. Susan shrugged. Solid benefits, I guess. I wasn't racing for her approval. By the age of 27, I was a partner, with an office that looked out on sailboats in Casco Bay, icons of hard-won freedom. At a fundraiser for financial literacy, I ran into Derek Sullivan. No trust fund brat, only dark ringlets, calm brown eyes. Grown up in a Boston triple-decker, he founded a cybersecurity company, sold it for millions, began a renewable energy company. Over cheap wine, we connected over suspicion of extravagance, faith in constructing, not parading. 2 years afterward, he asked me on a misty Bold Coast hike, down on one knee in mud with an aquamarine ring. No theatrics, just us. I answered during the sentence. Our wedding arrangements, Acadia's old lighthouse, 50 people, $40,000 for a lobster boil reception, were not extravagant, but ours. We could get married in secret, give away the cash, Derek joked, arm around me with seating charts. I smiled, but it stuck. Susan's reaction was lukewarm. At least you're settling down, eyeing my ring like a sale find. Henry muttered congratulations. Lily texted regarding my bachelorette party, taking on her role. As my career took off, Susan's expectations escalated, picking up Lily's phone bill, co-signing her car loan, paying for her wardrobe. "She's your sister," Susan said, as if love equated with my wallet. I loved Lily, but bitterness brewed. Why was I her safety net when she put in no effort? Derek sensed my tension after Susan's calls, massaging my shoulders. "You're not their aim," my counselor, Dr. Orla Hayes, repeated. "Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you whole." Guilt, stitched by Susan since childhood, pulled, whispering I owed them for raising me. Claire, from sneaking clams as kids from the harbor, was more frank in her bakery. "Your mom's using you to support Lily's dreams. It's a transaction, not love." Pressure mounted when Lily revealed she was engaged to Nate, an unemployed musician with a dwindling trust fund, whom she met 6 months prior at a Portland open mic. Susan swooned over his artistic soul, paying no mind to his bank account. Their June wedding at Cliffside Manor, a venue reserved for senators' daughters, shouted extravagance. Tens of thousands for the manor, added to Lily's designer wedding gown, Maldives honeymoon. Susan's calls became incessant, going around and round money. Lily's discovered her prince, helped them begin their life. I brought up my wedding, plans to buy a house with Derek. She retorted, "Family looks after family." Guilt nagged, but Orla's words grounded. "You can't control what other people do." Claire, jabbing a scone, cautioned, "This engagement party's a snare to guilt trip you into paying for Lily's fairy tale wedding. Bring Derek along as a backup." Derek had a meeting with investors, but her words lingered. "Promise you'll get out if it's poisonous." I nodded, queasy. Nightmares tormented me. Our house collapsing on us, Susan's voice thundering. I was 29, a business partner, engaged to a man I adored, but that teenager desperate for validation all over again. Derek kissed me farewell as I headed to Blue Harbor, eyes anxious. "Call if you need me. I can be there in 2 hours if my meeting concludes." I grinned falsely. "It's Saturday, I'm fine." Driving to Blue Harbor, clapboard houses and lobster pots evoked nostalgia, fear. Pulling into my parents', I noticed new siding, new deck, stainless appliances shining. Henry's lobstering was just enough to pay bills. Susan hadn't worked in decades. Where was the cash? Henry hugged me awkwardly, hefting my bag. Henry's embrace was awkward, his tone warm but weary. "Good to see you, kid." Susan's cooked all day. The house had the scent of lemon polish, roasting garlic, but new shingles and stainless steel appliances still shouted Susan's desire to impress. Lily came racing downstairs, blonde curls flying, perfume pricey. "Andy, you're here." She squealed, hugging me hard. Her zest felt genuine, but didn't sweep aside years of unbalanced scales. "Wait until you meet Nate. He's amazing." Nate was out, schmoozing music producers, Lily reported, unflappable. Dinner was a tightrope act. Susan quizzed me about my wedding, smile slicing, highlighting Lily's fantasy venue. Henry pecked at his lobster roll. Silence his go-to hiding place. Setting the table, I heard Susan and Lily in the pantry, voices hushed, insistent. "You said they'd cover expenses," Lily complained. "They will," Susan reassured. "Nate's parents have a cash flow problem, we have alternatives." Options came down like a rock, affirming Claire's warning. Cousins and aunts showed up. Aunt Ellen sneered. "Still tallying numbers, Andy? No time for family." I managed a smile until my cousin Sarah leaned over. "Ignore Mom, we're proud of you." In the guest room my phone vibrated. "Derek. Meeting running behind, won't make it till morning, you okay?" "Hanging in there, miss you," I typed. His reply. "Knight in shining armor reporting tomorrow. Love you." I plopped down on the bed, the weight of the weekend bearing down, aware the party would push every limit. Saturday morning, caterers flooded the backyard, hanging fairy lights, setting up peonies. Susan directed like a conductor. Lily took selfies in a silk dress that shrieked money. I arranged gift tables, my navy dress demure, crisp, my gift, a crystal vase, selected within our $200 budget. Nate was at noon, all smiles, teeth, hugged too hard, eyes on my watch. The infamous sister. His designer-shoed friends, ill-defined occupations, made greasy remarks about marrying well. Susan poured me wine, tweaking my necklace with a smile that did not reach her eyes. Everything has to be perfect. She did whisper. Nate's parents are high maintenance, but their trust fund's running thin. I nodded, avoiding the hook, moving to the party agenda. At 3 o'clock, the backyard was aglow. White roses, clinking glasses, a string quartet on violins. My panic reached a high. Derek messaged, "Stuck in traffic." I splashed cold water, whispering to my mirror, "You're enough, you can do this." Lily and Nate arrived, her blush gown shining. His suit impeccably cut. Lily declared, "Cliffside Manor wedding, 6-tier cake from a Boston patisserie, Paris gown, Fiji honeymoon." Every word constricted my chest. A fiscal freefall. "We appreciate family support," Lily stated, gaze darting to me. Susan clinked a glass. "To Lily, Nate, and the people who love them enough to turn dreams into reality." The abrupt toast caught me off guard. Susan trapped me near the dessert table. A word in secret. Against my will, I trailed to Henry's study. She closed the door. "Isn't this fairy tale?" Lily's found her match. Her tone changed. "Nate's family's hit rocky ground, temporary. Lily deserves her fairy tale wedding." "How much?" I asked flat-voiced. "Just $40,000, she told me, like loose change. "Your lighthouse project can wait." "No," I told her firm. "I'm not financing a wedding Lily can't pay for. It's irresponsible, not my business." Susan's expression turned cold. "After everything we've done, you're selfish." "I paid for college myself," I retorted. "I've been on my own since 18. You don't guilt me." Her voice escalated, trailing after me to the hall where guests still lingered. "Everyone, Andy has something to say." The crowd fell silent. "She's skipping Lily's wedding, too busy to count." Lily's face fell. "Andy, is that true?" "I'm not having this conversation here," I said, heart racing. Susan's anger overflowed. She picked up a coffee cup from a tray, hurled it at me. Scalding liquid burned my cheeks, drenched my dress. I gasped, pain cutting, humiliation biting. "Look what you made me do," Susan screamed. "You've ruined everything." Lily covered her mouth. Nate's eyes widened. Guests stood still, whispers erupting. Through tears, searing skin, the front door swung open. Derek entered, face changing from confusion to rage. Seeing my sodden dress, flushed cheeks, Susan's defiance. He dashed to me, hands soft. "Andy, what happened? Are you all right?" Susan advanced, voice syrupy. "Derek, a family row. Andy was obstinate over Lily's wedding. I got worked up." "Worked up?" Derek's tone was steel. "You splashed hot coffee at your daughter for not handing over $40,000. Susan stuttered. "An accident, heat of the moment." Derek steadied me on my feet, arm a barricade. "She needs to see a doctor. Those burns have to be treated." Susan mocked. "It wasn't that hot." Derek's composure cracked. "Mrs. Carter, I've heard for 2 years how Andy paid for her education while you saved for Lily. How you put down her achievements, commend Lily's every move." He turned to the crowd. "Did you know Andy paid your mortgage 3 years ago anonymously out of a trust to rescue this house when Henry's boat engine failed?" Susan went white. Henry took a step forward, voice trembling. "Andy, did that happen?" I nodded. "I didn't want you to worry." Derek went on. "And Lily, your $25,000 in student loans, paid by Andy, masquerading as a grant so you wouldn't feel beholden." Lily's jaw fell. "That was you." Nate stepped forward, eyes shining. "Madison never told me her sister was so successful." Derek continued. "Andy, a partner with Coastal Capital, made Margaret's inheritance into millions. Not for appearances but working with kids in poverty. She's not your ATM, she's your daughter's sister." Susan spluttered. "She lives modestly, that condo, car." "Because money is about purpose, not status," said Derek. I looked at Lily's eyes. Would it have made a difference if I had known I had money? I desired love, not coercion. Susan attempted. "Had we known, we wouldn't have asked. A misunderstanding." The room grew quiet, its silence screaming. her words empty. For the first time I felt understood. Derek led me to the car, face pounding, dress in tatters. In the ER, the doctor affirmed first-degree burns. Stinging but not scarring. My phone rang. Lily, sorry, call me. Henry, your mother's upset, please call. Susan, a misunderstanding. Even Ellen, enthusiastic about investments. I shut off my phone, inclining toward Derek. I can't meet them yet. You don't have to, he replied, fingers steady. At a Bar Harbor hotel, room service. A cool bath for my burns from Derek. Sorry I spilled your secrets, he said quietly. Watching you hurt, I couldn't keep quiet. I tightened his hand. It's okay. Keeping my success hidden wore me out, maybe it needed to escape. Claire texted, you okay? Heard what went down. Proud of you for holding your ground. Dr. Orla's words repeated. Saying no makes you whole. The burns hurt, but Susan's betrayal hurt more. I wasn't her ledger anymore. The next day, I went to see Dr. Orla Hayes for an emergency session. What Susan did was assault, she said bluntly. No excuse regardless of how heated. I nodded, stunned. She's never been physical before. Orla's voice was calm. Maybe not, but the emotional manipulation, this was louder. She assisted me in drawing up a plan. No contact with Susan until she acknowledged her behavior. Wary openness with Lily and Henry if boundaries were respected. Claire, when I phoned, was furious. Coffee in your face. That's not an argument, that's abuse. Keep away from her. During the week, Lily appeared at my Portland office in tears. Why didn't you mention you were so successful? I struggled and you were wealthy. I remained tranquil. I live within my means, Lily, that's choice, not wealth. Her voice cracked. Mom says it was an accident. I locked eyes with her. Do you really think so? She gazed away, ashamed. It's a disaster. Nate's behaving erratically. His parents are pulling out. Mom's crying or screaming. Henry phoned next, voice thick. Susan overstepped, should have stopped her. Discovering you paid our mortgage. It's humbling I let you down. His apology cracked something open. A father I might know. The family split. Ellen chased my wallet. Sarah offered real support. Work at Coastal Capital grounded me. But Susan's surprise visit to my office, being escorted out by security, exhibited no change. Her flowers with a card. Family fights we forgive. Felt like manipulation. 6 months passed, a blur of work, healing. Lily broke off her engagement with Nate. His interest in my money too blatant. She got a Camden apartment, became an event planner, fantasized about her bakery. Our lunch, hesitant at first, warmed up. I'm sorry I didn't see how Mom treated you, she said, stirring her coffee. I was trapped in being her favorite. I nodded. We were molded by her, just differently. When she outlined her business plan, seeking advice, not funds, I saw a new Lily, charting her course. Henry and I began weekly lunches. He spoke of regrets, allowing Susan's domination silence his voice. I thought peace was worth the price, but it cost you, Andy, I'm sorry. His decision to come to my wedding without Susan was his silent rebellion. Susan began therapy, Lily explained, but her inability to take responsibility for the coffee incident kept her aloof. Her online postings, beneath the surface complaints about family misunderstandings, were performances, not progress. Derek's family was my sanctuary. His mom, Diane, phoned every week, inquiring about nothing but my health. His dad, Tom, gave restraining order tips just in case. Their hospitality revealed what I'd lacked, a family that didn't measure love in terms of utility. Orla's sessions grounded me, unraveling why I obscured success, felt so guilty. You're breaking patterns, that's courage, not failure. I started envisioning a life where worth didn't hinge on giving, where boundaries weren't betrayal. The wedding morning, I stood in the lighthouse keeper's cottage, tucking my lace veil into place. Acadia's cliffs plunged to the Atlantic, surf pounding beneath a sunless blue. Claire, my maid of honor, ran a hand over the wrinkles in my dress. You're beautiful. I smiled, butterflies fluttering. Is it strange I'm excited to have Henry walk me down the aisle? We're only just speaking, truly speaking. Claire shook her head. You're starting something new, deserving the nerves. Lily knocked, wearing a sage green dress the color of her eyes, holding out a box. Margaret's pearl bracelet, luster soft as memory. Mom has no idea I stole it. Grandma would have wanted this. Tears stung as I put it on. Thank you, Lily. She wavered. I took out a business loan. I'm opening a bakery, no family funds, just me with guidance from a finance expert. She playfully pushed me, smiling. That's great, I exclaimed, embracing her. Not Susan's shadow, my sister. Henry materialized, suit askew, smile hesitant. Ready, kid? He took me to the lighthouse, 50 people waiting. He whispered, Susan's missing a great day. Her decision, I answered, grasping his arm. The wedding was simple, loving, the sea our witness. I glanced at Derek's parents, Claire, Lily, Henry, friends. Family by choice. Susan's absence hurt, but I'd made my peace. At the reception, tent lanterns flickering, Lily laughed with Derek's cousin, Ethan. A flash of hope. Henry's toast was direct, honoring our path without dwelling on anguish. While dancing with Derek, lighthouse beam sweeping, he asked in a whisper, Happy? More, I replied, and meant it. This was not a wedding, a vow of life untethered from duty's bindings. On the lighthouse steps afterward, ocean breeze musing Lily's hair, I asked, Mind if I sit? She scooted. It's your day, you call the shots. The moon silvered the waves, she spoke. I've been thinking about money. Not yours, but how it warped us. Mom's status obsession made me entitled, you secretive. Neither was right. I nodded, we're unlearning it. She pulled a folded paper from her clutch, her bakery budget. Will you look this over? Not money advice. I took it, throat tight, lunch next week. Her smile was enough. The coffee incident cracked our family open, forcing truths. Susan's rage, Lily's dependence, Henry's silence. They shaped me, not defined me. I'd built a life with Derek, boundaries protecting my heart, relationships with Lily, Henry, Claire, rooted in respect. Susan was trying, Lily said, but her journey wasn't mine to fix. Some bonds might never heal, that was okay. Freedom was letting go. As Derek and I departed under sparklers, I bore peace, transcending knowing my worth wasn't something I gave, but who I was. My riches weren't my portfolio or title, but chosen love, set boundaries, a future on our terms. I continued to mentor children, my window gazing out onto Casco Bay. Sailboats bobbing. Lily opened her bakery, her scones almost rivaling Claire's. Henry came by, prouder every time. Susan's messages gentled, but distance remained. My peace was not negotiable. Margaret's bracelet, which I wore every day, reminded me. My dreams were worth it. The moral: your value is not what you offer. Establish boundaries, select love that elevates, and create your own peace. Thanks for watching Revenza Tales, where stories of struggle and victory radiate. Share your comeback tales, hit like, subscribe for more epic stories.